One. And after a long hiatus, I am back with the king himself, Phil Simms. I am Matt Simms. Welcome back to Simms Complete. Big Phil, tell us, how was your vacation over there in Italy? You went over to Lake Como, correct?
Yeah, that was the start of the vacation, and it was about 9 days long. To say it was a lot of eating would be the greatest understatement in the world. And literally, I saw myself with the pictures, of course, with the phone. I saw myself getting fatter day by day. So that's my experience and my vacation.
And Dee Dee Simms, your wife, my mother, she was saying that you guys ran into a few fans, a few Americanos over there that were asking about football and all that kind of stuff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they were. It seemed like everywhere, American football people, even a few Italians go, hey. I go, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, but whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really was. We had fun with those people, and we interacted with crowds wherever we went, just because we were on vacation, having a good time. And the couple we went with, Randy and Carolyn Botts, they were a lot of fun. And hey, 9 days, everything went great. And then what? We're in the airport. We think we're getting ready to board the plane. They go, sorry, it's canceled. And then the next plane, don't worry, we'll wait for the next one. Oh, it's canceled. Oh, so whatever. That was the bad part of the trip, but it was all good. Good to be home.
The boss has got a shout out though. That's great. That's awesome. And it's just, for some of the fans, like, were they Steelers, Cowboys fans? Anything, a little bit of everything. Any Giants fans over there while you were there?
I had a few Giant fans. Yes, I hit them. Probably more Giant fans than anybody. Okay. Always a few Steeler fans, right. And of course, who else? What's the other group?
You tell me. I mean, I guess Cowboys would. I feel like be the
yes.
Okay.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people that live over there go, "Did you play for the Well, I can't even. I'm not going to imitate them. Did you play for the Cowboys?" And the answer is no, I did not. So, so it was great. We had a lot of fun though. We really did. We went on a hike one day. I don't think we knew we were going to do it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the top of this. I'm just going to say a mountain and see this beauty, whatever. So we do it. We go over there and we start walking. I go, wow, what the heck is this? Like this.
Yeah.
And all we could do was laugh because it was so hard. I mean, it take the hardest leg workout you've ever done. And we got to the top. That's what it felt like. And
wow.
Let me tell you, going down wasn't no piece of cake either. But it was amazing how many people were going up and down it. And it took me literally about 3 days to get over it. It was, I'm serious. It was rough.
I love it.
It was
I
rough.
love it. Anybody who's trained with Big Phil too knows that, boy doesn't skip leg day. And to say that he was impressed by this leg workout, that's saying something.
It was. I don't want to get too vivid, but I swear I was walking sometimes. I thought my butt was going to cramp.
Wow.
I mean, it was that hard. I'm not exaggerating either.
I love it. All right. Well,
all right, let's go.
We appreciate it. So from butt cramps,
yes.
In Italy to now back to our quarterback rankings, going by division. And the division we are discussing today is the NFC North quarterbacks.
Right.
We got a really good group, I think, to discuss here. And a lot of young quarterbacks now that are being potentially thrusted into the starting lineup for their individual football teams. Like always, we'll start at number 4 and work our way up to the top of the list. Number 4 on Phil Simms' big board for the NFC North QBs is who, Captain?
It's going to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. It's either going to be Sam Darnold or JJ.Mccarthy. And not that I kind of like them both. I think Sam Darnold probably has a better chance of getting the team off to a better start than JJ.McCarthy just because of his experience, but also he has talent. And, still has a good arm, moves around well enough. He's a big guy, can take punishment. And, of course, Kevin O'Connell, the offense. We saw last year, I mean, they made mistakes, the quarterbacks that took over for Kirk Cousins. But, man, did they put up some yards and completions. I mean, it's like, if you want to get a new contract, go get Kevin O'Connell as your offensive coordinator, and you'll make some money. But it's, he's got Wes Phillips there. Josh McCown now is up there in Minnesota. So, so that's who I pick. I think Sam Darnold, I saw some things on TV, But I think when the season starts, it'll be Sam Darnold starting quarterback.
Yeah, and for you, just big picture wise, if you were the head coach of that football team or a general manager, would you prefer Sam Darnold just being kind of named the starter right now and going from there, and then allowing JJ to work his way up instead of putting too much pressure on him too soon?
Well, look, I would work really hard, of course, on JJ.Mccarthy, but unless I am just overwhelmed and really see it, that's the only way I would start him to start the season.
Okay.
And, let's all of us, everybody out there, don't get blinded by preseason. I'm the worst. I get blinded every year by preseason, and I'm going to write it on the board. Don't be another idiot. I got to do something because I buy into the preseason games when sometimes it's either really simple in preseason games, and this, or it's the opposite. You remember when you were playing for Buffalo and you played Detroit? Was it Detroit? Yeah. They did every blitz they had in their whole playbook because they want to get it on film.
Right.
So you can go either way there, but I'll be surprised if it's not Sam Darnold. It's just my guess.
Yeah, and I agree with you here in this. The number 4 quarterback for me on this list is Sam Darnold / JJ.Mccarthy.
Right.
And really question mark again, young quarterback in Chicago as well, but still feel like the Chicago QB has a little bit more just raw talent than both of these gentlemen in this situation. Either way, though, Sam Darnold, JJ, like you mentioned, I think are in a great situation. You mentioned Kevin O'Connell, how we think so highly of him as a play caller, as a player, like as a leader of men too, for play callers and being very offensive minded. And not only that, but being surrounded by a ton of talent on the offensive side of the football. Justin Jefferson, we saw that mega deal that he just signed. Jordan Addison, Brandon Powell, who I think gets a little overlooked in that group. TJ Hawkinson's fantastic. And then the signing of Aaron Jones this offseason, I think, is massive for that football team. And another tool that I think Kevin O'Connell is really going to have a great time with using, in that short intermediate passing game with him. He does a great job of catching and running in the screen games too as well. So I think the Vikings, despite we both having them at that 4 ranking, they really are in a good position to kind of build with their young quarterback for the future. And, Skull, I think, is in as good position to I think, live a little bit, to exceed expectations that we kind of had for them, last year and this year.
The only problem was saying they might exceed our expectations.
Yeah.
I think we have them for all these teams. And that becomes, we got 4 that we are expecting. Well, we're not surprised about this.
Right.
So we're going to be surprised by 2 of them. We're going to be disappointed by 2 other ones. So
no doubt.
But there are quite a few when you look around the league. There's just it's as always, Matt. It's so close.
It is.
And it comes down to a few players. Do they play up to their capabilities and beyond that? And does it work well with the coaches? I think their coaching staff is really strong in Minnesota. I probably give that as big a reason why they can overcome and be better than we think they are by coaching, which, as we see every year, we talked about CJ Stroud. Yeah, he's got talent. He really played well, but damn, were they coached well.
Right.
I mean, it was so it takes everything for it to really work. And so we both got Minnesota at number 4. Who do you have at number 3?
Number 3, going with the rookie Caleb Williams out of Chicago. And I think just, for him, I'm excited to see, obviously, his progression into the NFL. I know there definitely would be some growing pains. I don't think there'll be any question mark here, right? He is day 1 starter no matter what. He is going to be out there. He's going to have to learn the hard way. We'll see, again, what happens in Minnesota. But I think Caleb Williams, only been doing this 2 years. And I just was really impressed with his overall skill set, his ability on film to create plays, to play within structure, to create plays outside of that, and to really just utilize his skill set. I think that will translate extremely well to the NFL game. So I have Caleb Williams, number 3 of the Chicago Bears, and he's another guy that's got, a pretty good skill group around him too going into the season.
I mean, listen, we got 32 teams with good skill groups almost.
No, you're right. That's kind of like where we're leading now, right? Is that there's so many damn good receivers and tight ends in this league now. It's kind of hard to differentiate between all of them.
It really is. I even wrote them down. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze,
Yeah.
Shane Waldron, the new offensive coordinator. I like what he did last year out in Seattle. So, it's really solid NFL offense with enough stuff to make it even better. And I don't want to say trick plays, but unique plays. But Caleb Williams, I think everybody thinks he's just going to run around and make these great plays. No, I think he's capable. I saw it at USC, saw it at Oklahoma, of just running the normal offense and, marching down the field. He doesn't need a spectacular play to get him into the end zone. He's just going to hit all the ordinary throws that you hear me talk about all the time. I think he's a very accurate thrower, very good on the run, throwing the football also. And so, man, I'm excited to watch him play. And I think for a rookie, he's got a good surrounding group, and I think he'll take advantage of it. So
I think so too. I agree with you. And you're right. He doesn't get enough credit. And we discussed this even in the film breakdowns that we did, throughout this offseason. He doesn't get enough credit for really just the on schedule playing in rhythm plays. And I think that really is because just those other plays were just so spectacular, right? As Big Phil would say, right? That it kind of takes us away from all of the other things that he does routinely extremely well.
Yeah. You got what's the saying, Matt? What about the quarterback? What do they got to do? Got to hit the routine plays, baby. Got to hit them. Can't miss them. And that's what Russell Wilson and Justin Fields don't do. They don't hit enough routine plays.
Right.
Justin Fields for sure. It's either a great run, a rip it in there, 100-mile-an-hour throw for a big first down or a touchdown, but you don't see enough ordinary plays. He doesn't make them look easy either. Ordinary plays in the passing game can look hard by Justin Fields sometimes. And saying all that, I'm saying it for this reason. Caleb Williams is not that kind of quarterback. So we both got him in.
I think you're right. So I think this is the reason why the Bears did move forward from Justin Fields too, is because they wanted someone that can make the routine more routine for them. And I think Caleb Williams absolutely does that for them right from the start of the season. So we both got, like you said, we got Caleb at number 3. All right. And now, I don't know, maybe this, oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
We'll see. Yeah,
all right. Who you got at number 2?
Yeah. Here we go.
You won't do it. I don't know why.
What do you mean I won't do it?
All right. Who you got at number 2, Phil?
Jordan Love.
Okay, good. I was going to say, you won't do that, man. Yeah.
No, I was trying to, but I couldn't get by it. But, listen, we've talked about him a lot this offseason, Jordan Love. Yeah. I'm happy for him.
Right.
Not playing for 3 years, but I've always said, and I watched those games he did play in those 3 years when he got in, and each time I saw him get into the game, I thought he was better than the previous time of playing. And that kind of went, okay, it must be working a little more in practice than it did that first year. And once he got comfortable and got over the nerves, and I'm the quarterback for Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers is not here. You know what I mean? So that has to be unbelievable. Yeah. Think about it. You're replacing Aaron Rodgers. And then I think it happened, Thanksgiving Day. Was that the day they were down in Detroit?
Yes.
And he just lit Detroit up. Oh, my gosh. I had to do an eye vision at CBS about it, and I had selection anxiety because there was like 10 or 12 throws. I go, this is special.
Right.
And he learned from Aaron Rodgers. He fixed his throwing motion, throwing the ball better. Now he's got experience. And like a lot of quarterbacks we talk about, now we have high expectations from him. And Matt LaFleur, let's give him a lot of credit. Man. Once they got it going, he said, to hell with these 2-yard passes. He's over there. Well, I ain't got time. Let's throw deep when and they were great at it. They really were. And all those young receivers, Watson, who else? Dobbs, of course, Jaden Reed, and
the young tight end, Musgrave, Kraft. I mean, they got Josh Jacobs too this offseason too. Marshawn Lloyd, another running back that they drafted this year out of USC. So again, like you're saying, another skill group, very impressive. We know one thing, that speed for this football team, and that's very exciting. But I want to go back to something you mentioned though too. Really happy for Matt LaFleur. I think he is one of those coaches. He didn't get enough credit when I was with him in Atlanta for what he did. it really just kind of gets overlooked, I feel like, through his career, especially too with Aaron Rodgers. Kind of hard to obviously be, looked at in any other way other than Aaron Rodgers when you're around, that quarterback right now. It doesn't matter what team he's on. And, Matt LaFleur, I think, just really did a phenomenal job of finding what Jordan Love does extremely well and then utilizing it and really empowering the quarterback too. Because I feel like we saw it in that playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys where he's just like, man, hey, just cut it loose. You see it, check the play, do it, let's go. And that's where I get excited about this football team too, because I just feel like they are just an explosive play, just waiting to happen each and every time they drop back to pass.
Well, think about this. If Jordan Love would have been the same guy in San Francisco that we saw for the previous 8-9 weeks, whatever, they were going to beat the 49ers.
Yeah.
And he just had that day. Who knows? It just wasn't sharp on his end. He missed some throws, made a couple bad decisions.
Yeah.
But if he'd have been the guy we saw before that, I don't know. What'd you think? I really thought it was there for them to beat the San Francisco 49ers.
It was one of those, it's kind of the story that you share, right? When you're playing the 85 Bears in Chicago, where you're like, hey, 9 times out of 10, we're probably going to lose that game. But that was kind of that one time.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of how I feel about when I watch that game and even think back to it now, right? As you bring that up, like that was the one time that, the Packers could have upset them. Even though San Francisco is the better football team right now, they did have those opportunities. I feel like Matt LaFleur dialed up enough plays to get Jordan Love, involved in the game. And you're right, just a few decisions here or there. But those are those losses to me that I think overall they help Matt LaFleur, they help Jordan Love, they ultimately help, really the whole outlook of the team too, of really understanding what it does take, to win some of those gritty football games late in the year.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I think more and more teams probably this year are going to be able to challenge Philadelphia, San Francisco. And I think we learned that by watching Green Bay, what they did. And of course, what's the next one? Who's number one for you? They had an unbelievable chance to be Super Bowl winners or at least get to the Super Bowl.
Agree.
And that is the Detroit Lions. Go ahead. What do you want to say about them and Jared Goff?
Yeah, I mean, it's Jared Goff, right? Number one in this division by far. I shouldn't say by far, but I mean, man, it's what he's done. Yeah, it's a pretty good gap there, Phil.
Yeah,
and really, I think again, it's for one thing, when I look at the rosters of just coaches in this division, damn, a lot of good offensive minds, So Shane Waldron, you got your work cut out, boy, if you want to fit in with this group, because Ben Johnson, Kevin O'Connell, Matt LaFleur. I mean, these guys, I know one thing, they, like you said, they can help these quarterbacks get a second and third contract. There's no doubt, but Jared Goff, I think he's done a great job. I think, for him personally, we're seeing another aspect of him that maybe was we didn't get a chance to see that in LA as much. And I think that's just like the Dan Campbell effect on him, right? Very similar to that effect that Bill Parcells had on you as a quarterback, right? Dan Campbell instilling kind of that toughness mentality in him, really kind of putting a lot of pressure on him to lead the football team. And I think each and every year, Jared Goff has really felt more and more comfortable taking over that role and being that leader, that emotional leader, but also just getting it done on the football field too. I mean, this guy throws the football down the field more aggressively than anybody. And Ben Johnson's ability to dial it up for him to take advantage of that skill set that he does so well is fantastic. And I think really just Jared's done a great job of really, really galvanizing from his past in LA and then making it fit what the Detroit Lion mentality is about biting kneecaps and all that kind of stuff that Dan Campbell has done there. So it's like a perfect match made in heaven from coaching, personality, and then the individual Jared Goff making the most of it.
I would say this. We all thought Jared Goff was in a great offense with the Rams and Sean McVay.
Right.
And it was. It got him to the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
But this offense he has under Ben Johnson is much better for him.
Right.
Not only indoors, but he's a play action, which you heard me complain many times about Zach Wilson. He's a play action, get me deep and let it separate and I'll rip it down in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff, like you said, throws it down the field well, very aggressive decision maker, makes a lot of power throws. Playing in the dome, I think, really does help him. It helps any quarterback. And no wind, that's quarterback's best friend. But just his presence, and he's not outward in anything when he's on the field. He's always calm, but there's something about it. Maybe it's because I know he's playing so well. They're a good football team. Maybe I look at that, but he just seems to be in total control. The players love him because it's not about him when you talk about the Detroit Lions. It's about Dan Campbell, all the other pieces on the team, and it's great. And here's the one guy, Amon St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, two good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Sam Laporta is a really ridiculously good tight end. But the guy I expect to really make a leap this year is Jameson Williams.
Right.
I mean, come on. He could be – I always thought he could be a superstar. And he got off to a slow start in Detroit, a little beat up, just immature. But, he's a guy that could come out of nowhere and change their whole football team. So,
no, you're right. You're right.
Number one, Jared Goff. Hey, Jared, how is it? God, we all love you now.
It's great. It really is. And I think this is what, something even when we were discussing with Bucky Brooks over there in the Jacksonville Jaguars podcast, right? Believe in Jags, that same thing that like, Jared, he went through it. He survived. He found a home that really is all about supporting him and making sure that he's in the best position possible to succeed. And I think it's one of those things where, I'm sure at the time, of course, it hurt when they traded him for Matt Stafford and all that. But now, honestly, I think it's worked out for both parties to be happy, And, for Jared, I think his skill set is great. Ben Johnson has done a great job of molding his skill set into the offense tremendously. The one thing about Jared Goff, ain't afraid to cut it loose, right? He's got a strong arm. He has great pocket presence. He's not going to scramble or run around and make plays with his legs, but routinely he's going to make the great decision after great decision throughout the football game. And you're right. He is a dome quarterback. I would definitely say that. He's a little bit of a, he's got that style to him where like, don't expect him to just crush it in terrible weather, that type of stuff. But he does seem to get it done, consistently as a thrower that way, no matter what the circumstances right now in the offense.
How about that? A trade, two quarterbacks, and it works out great for both.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens about once every 25 years. If it does, then
Right.
So good stuff. NFC North, we got to get back and do another one. We got to finish up. You're in such demand, I can never get you to sit down and do the podcast with me.
Big Phil, we just started the show on how you were in, Italy and Lake Como for 10 days. So what are you talking about, bro?
Well, I had to go away because I couldn't get a hold of you. So I said,
out here.
Yeah. You're so busy.
You should have invited me. I would have done the show with you right there on the lake, hanging out. That would have been great. Get your Giants, Jets fans, and all them that were over there in Lake Como.
No, I got to go work out right here in a second. I got to lose some weight. So.
Good redirect. Yeah,
redirect. No, it's all good, man. Hey, thanks. Good to talk to you today. We'll see everybody out there again soon on the next group of guys we want to talk about.
Yep. So we'll get back to more quarterback breakdowns and rankings here. So that's all we got from the NFC North. I cannot believe that me and Big Phil agreed on every single quarterback in this division, but that's okay. Like and subscribe here, Sims Complete QB. We're also too on YouTube as well. Check out some of our stuff on our YouTube channel on Believe, also the Sims Complete channel as well. Like and subscribe, leave some comments, talk some smack with Big Phil, and we'll be back with more of the QB rankings here soon. See you later, folks.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. That was good, Matt.